Why is half of America practically a ghost town, with large stretches of land almost abandoned? Why are Black people steering clear of these 10 states? And what's behind the fact that half of America is basically vacant? Trust me, it's not because everyone just suddenly developed an allergy to land. These 10 states are so empty, you could throw a block party and still hear nothing but an echo. But here's the kicker. Black folks are avoiding these areas like they're giving away expired milk and broken promises. In this video, we're going deep into why these sparsely populated states, with hardly any Black residents, are being left behind, overlooked, and even outright ignored. Is it the harsh winters? The creepy quietness? The blink and you miss it job market? Or maybe it's just the gut-wrenching feeling of, I don't belong here. From economic wastelands to cultural ghost towns, we're breaking down why Black people don't often relocate to these states, and why some folks say they wouldn't even think about living there if the rent was free. If you've ever wondered why Black people avoid these 10 empty states, you need to stick with me. This isn't just a list, it's a reality check. So, buckle up, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Virtual Travel by Brian, your go-to for honest discussions and real travel insights. Number 10, Alaska. It's beautiful, sure, but where's everyone? Let's be real. Alaska doesn't feel like a typical state, it feels more like the final boss level of Earth. With just around 730,000 residents spread across a landmass that's twice the size of Texas, it's basically America's scenic ghost town. And if you're Black, don't hold your breath for a vacation to Anchorage anytime soon. About 3.2% of Alaska's population is Black, and honestly, that feels more like a rounding error than a lively community. You could stroll for miles through some towns without spotting another Black person. Or anyone for that matter. It's not just remote. It's emotionally isolated. Imagine a frozen tundra, 6 months of darkness, and more moose than people. And speaking of cold, ever tried warming up your car in -40 degrees Fahrenheit? Yeah, your eyelashes freeze. And stepping outside feels like your soul is questioning its entire existence. If you're used to warmer or even moderately chilly climates, Alaska probably isn't on your bucket list. Let's not even get into accessibility. Getting to and from Alaska is like planning a trip to Mars. Flights are crazy expensive, food prices are sky high. $7 for a gallon of milk. Seriously. And as for jobs, unless you're working in oil, fishing, or government, good luck. But the biggest reason Black people aren't heading to Alaska: no built-in community, no deep-rooted Black culture, no thriving urban centers, and minimal support networks. So, ask yourself, would you pack up your life and move to a place where nightlife consists of watching the northern lights alone, and Target is a 6-hour drive away? Alaska might be a dream for adventurers, off-the-grid homesteaders, and grizzly bears, but for many Black Americans, it's just not the vibe. What do you think? Could you handle that kind of solitude, or would Alaska stay on your visit once, never move list? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Number 9, West Virginia. Have you ever arrived somewhere and instantly felt like you took a wrong turn and ended up back in 1973? Welcome to West Virginia. With a population hovering around 1.7 million, this state has plenty of space to stretch out, maybe even a little too much space. But here's the catch. Only about 3.6% of the population is Black. Factor in the economy, and you start to understand why Black folks aren't exactly racing to call West Virginia home. Let's break it down. West Virginia's economy is struggling harder than dial-up internet in 2025. Once a proud coal stronghold, it's now a slow-motion economic shrug. Job opportunities are limited, and the median household income is just over $53,000, way below the national average. And let's not even get started on upward mobility. It's more like uphill crawling. Now ask yourself, would you want to move somewhere with few jobs, even fewer Black neighbors, and a cultural scene that peaked during the era of cassette tapes? Add to that a struggling education system, limited healthcare access, and towns where it feels like time just stopped. It starts to feel less like a fresh start and more like a forced retreat. Sure, the mountains are postcard-worthy, But scenic views don't pay the bills or create welcoming spaces for Black communities to thrive. West Virginia may offer peace and quiet, but sometimes that quiet can be a little too loud, if you know what I mean. So, would you move to a state where opportunity is on life support and diversity is practically MIA? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this a place you could consider, or is it an immediate no-go? Winter. Forget it. It's Arctic survival mode. We're talking minus 30-degree F wind chills, frozen eyelashes, and that bone-chilling cold that makes your soul reconsider all of its life decisions. Add in endless flat land, practically zero urban life, and about 3 decent shopping malls, and suddenly it feels less like a state and more like a desolate zone where you're not just out of place. You're completely off the map. And then there's culture, or the glaring lack of it. For Black Americans seeking connection, culture, and a sense of community, North Dakota feels like a social desert. There are almost no cultural events, no thriving Black neighborhoods, and finding a familiar soul food joint or a decent barber. Forget about it. Try finding a good fade in Fargo. Yeah, good luck with that. So, let me ask you, how much are you willing to sacrifice for peace and quiet, if it comes with isolation and frostbite? Would you move to a place where you feel invisible just because it has a low crime rate and affordable rent? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is North Dakota a maybe, a hard pass, or a never in this lifetime? Me know. Number 3, Montana. Montana is so white and wide open, you might feel like you've wandered into a snow-covered cowboy movie, with no cast, just endless landscapes. With a population of about 1.1 million, Montana is the 4th largest state by land area. But good luck finding people. Zoom in further, and you'll see that less than 1% of the population is Black. That's not a neighborhood. That's a needle in a haystack. You're more likely to spot a grizzly bear than a soul food restaurant. So let's talk about the vibe. Montana is cold, rugged, and very outdoorsy. It's the kind of place where chopping firewood is considered a cardio workout and snow boots are a year-round fashion statement. Sounds adventurous, right? But for many Black Americans, Montana feels more like a cultural black hole. No Black churches, no cultural centers, and almost zero infrastructure to support a connected, thriving Black community. While the natural beauty is breathtaking, big sky country, majestic mountains, crystal clear lakes, you can't hike your way into diversity or a sense of community. It's one thing to escape the noise, but it's another thing to feel like you're the only one who hears your music. So let me ask you, could you feel at home in a place where diversity is treated like a rumor and the local population might never have met someone like you? Would you trade culture, connection, and community for stunning scenery and endless silence? Drop your thoughts below. Is Montana calling your name, or is it a solid no thanks? Number 2, Vermont. Vermont is so white, it might be mistaken for a snowstorm with voting rights. With a tiny population of around 650,000, Vermont is one of the least populated states in the country. But when it comes to Black residents, only about 1.5% of the population is Black. That's not a community. That's more of a head count. You could fit Vermont's entire Black population in one football stadium and still have room for snacks. Don't get distracted by the maple syrup and Bernie Sanders bumper stickers. Vermont is rural. We're talking winding back roads, general stores that close at 6 p.m., and so much open space you might forget other people even exist. That might sound peaceful, but it can also feel incredibly lonely, especially if you're Black and looking for culture, connection, or a barbershop. Culturally, Vermont is as monochromatic as it gets. It's progressive on paper, but when it comes to diversity, it's still very white. There's hardly any Black cultural infrastructure, and while most locals mean well, their idea of diversity training probably means watching the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reruns. So let me ask, how would you feel living in a state where spotting another Black person feels like playing Where's Waldo? Would Vermont's small-town charm be enough to overlook the isolation, or is it a polite no thank you? Drop your thoughts below. Number 1, Wyoming. Wyoming is so empty, your phone might just give up trying to search for service and say, good luck. With a population of just about 580,000, Wyoming is the least populated state in the country. Let that sink in. You could fit everyone in Wyoming into a decent-sized stadium and still have room for the snack vendors. But what really sets Wyoming apart on this list? Only about 1% of the residents are Black. 1%. That's not a community, a network, or even a decent brunch crowd. That's barely a roll call. So what's going on here? First off, Wyoming is vast, and I mean vast. I drove for 80 miles and saw more cows than people. It's the kind of place where you can stand in the middle of town and literally hear your heartbeat echo. And then there's the weather. Long, brutal winters that feel more like Arctic training camps than a livable climate. Snowstorms, wind gusts strong enough to steal your soul. That's just a regular Tuesday. But beyond the weather, it's about culture, or the distinct lack of it. For Black Americans, Wyoming offers little in terms of community, visibility, or opportunity. No thriving Black cultural scene, limited economic diversity, and a strong lean toward rural conservatism, which can feel unwelcoming or downright isolating. Ever tried finding a Black-owned business in a place where you might be the only Black person around? Yeah, that's Wyoming for you. So let me ask you, could you thrive in a place with no built-in community, no cultural familiarity, and a Target that's 3 hours away by horse? Or would you rather stick to spaces where diversity isn't just a checkbox, but a lifestyle? Let me know in the comments. And while you're here, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Virtual Travel by Brian, and share this video with someone who's thinking about moving but might want to rethink their zip code. Thanks for watching, and remember, just because the rent is cheap doesn't mean the cost of living is low. Stay safe, stay smart, and stay tuned.